Hello and welcome. Hope that you're doing all right. Hope that you're doing well. Today I'm going to be talking about losing your identity in sports. I was randomly thinking about this one day, um, and it really hit home for me personally because all my life I've always wanted to play professional basketball from the time I was, a little boy, from as long as I can remember, to be honest. And it was my outlet. It was my it was my peace. It was a way that I made friends. It was a way that receive love, and I felt admiration, and um, I felt cared for in a sense. It helped me build community. It helped me just be exposed to a lot of different things. But as I've gotten older, I started to realize, wait a minute, like, Christian, you're a lot more than just a basketball player. And a lot of times growing up in the inner cities, being African American to say the least, we're kind of naturally programmed to think certain ways. So, for example, if you grow up in a if you grow up in poverty, if you grow up in the hood, if you grow up in a place where there's not a lot of hope and all you see is violence and drugs, and you see all these different negative things, you go to sports as an outlet. And that's something that I did. I saw sports as like a way out to get away from trouble at home, staying out of the street, staying away from people who were negative influences, who were going to jail, who were being killed, who were all these different things. And I feel like a lot of people in the world, a lot of black men specifically, go to sports and they lose their identity. They're like, who am I outside of this basketball or this football or this whatever sport that you play? What's my purpose? How else can I value myself instead of just valuing myself based on my performance, or if I play well, if I can put the ball in the basket, or if I can score touchdowns, or if I'm strong and I can lift weights, or, psychologically speaking, I had a therapist tell me one time, well, maybe Christian, you really enjoy basketball because of the attention that it brought you, you know, and I had to think about that. I was like, wow, that's so true. People love me because I could play ball, but do they know who I really am? Do they know that I'm a lot more than just a basketball player? Do they love my mind? Do they respect my mind? Do they, cherish me as a person, or do they only see the worldly aspect of who I am, my physical appearance, or my jump shooting ability, or my athletic ability, whatever it is? So that's the reason why I wanted to make this podcast today. And that's what I wrote down: losing your identity in sports, and I also wrote uh, mental health for athletes, and to not base your perspective of yourself. Don't base it off of your performance. Like, if you play well, don't feel shitty about yourself. And I'm victim of that. There- Excuse me. There's been so many times where I will be in practice, or I'll be in the game, and I'm just overthinking so much, and I'm just so in my head to the point where I can't feel free. I'm worried about what a person is going to say, or what they're going to think, or if I don't make this shot, or if I don't run this play right, or just constantly thinking in my mind. So, for whoever's watching this, you're a lot more than just the sport that you're playing. Don't lose your identity. And when I say don't lose your identity, this is what I mean. Find the things that make you happy outside of the sport that you're playing, or if you're a college athlete, if you're in high school, whatever the case is. Find the things that make you happy outside of that. Find your purpose and reason as to why you're doing what you're doing. Um, Explore different other things in this world. Know that being adventurous and exploring is very, very, very important, and that it's a good thing. Don't allow your environment to make you think otherwise. I will have guys, not clown on me, but they will make little jokes and remarks about, oh, Christian, you always, preaching, or here you go with that wise ass shit, or here you go. Like, don't nobody want to hear that, or, you too wise for your age, or all these different things. But it's like, it's okay to be different. It's okay to be interested in science if you're an athlete. It's okay to be interested in reading, or being an author, or, a psychologist, or, a doctor, or the president of the United States, or, an engineer. Whatever it is that you desire in your mind, you can create it for yourself. You can have it. it could be, not to box yourself in. A lot of times, I would think to myself, damn, like basketball, 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 league, pro, money. It misconstrued my perspective of myself and life. It made me get away from what was truly important. Now, as I'm getting older, I'm starting to realize, Christian, you're a lot more than that. I have so many different other interests and I'm so passionate about other things. I can use basketball as a platform to create the other things that I want, or vice versa, whatever the case is. So that's just my words of encouragement for today. Understand the power of your mind. And if you grew up how I grew up, understanding that you are not just an athlete, whether you be male, female, whatever your scenario is, like you're a lot more than that. And step into that. If you're into art, get into art. If you're into clothes, fashion, and design, be passionate about that. If you're into architecture, if you're into animals, if you're into whatever it is that you're passionate about, it's okay to be passionate about those things. A lot of times we step outside in the world and we get influence and we allow the people's opinions, or we allow the world to dim our light in a sense. We don't step into our purpose. We don't step into what we're passionate about and what we love and what sets our soul on fire, because we care too much about what other people are going to think. You get what I'm saying? So I just wanted to share that message today. Because I've constantly battled with myself, only seeing myself as an athlete, only feeling like my purpose in life was to be, you know, what my dreams and goals were, to be a multimillionaire, to be playing the game that I love, to be inspiring, other kids and people in the world. But there's so much more to it than that. Life is bigger than basketball and football and soccer and whatever sport. So I love y'all, and I just wanted to share that today. Let me know what y'all think. Have a good one.